your hands in the air and
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
mixing sodas with the beer and
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
So why don't everybody cheer it?
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
This is the one right here.
Throw your hands in the air and
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
mixing sodas with the beer and
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
So why don't everybody cheer it?
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
This is the one right here.
You got
What is y'all, your social media platform artist and the host of the great YouTube channel. I'm your host, your one and the only Dr. Do here, everybody. How are we on this wonderful Monday evening right here, everyone? Today's video, I want to give you guys a history video right here, y'all. I want to give you guys a military history right here. We're going to do some ancient history right here to the Roman times right here, y'all. We're going to be talking about this one right here. It's the conflict that happened within, not outside of Rome, but within Rome. We're going to talk about, we are doing Roman history right here. This one will be a conflict that will put two generals in back against one another. And we're going to have to talk about that, alright y'all? We're going to talk about the conflict that happened between Julius Caesar and Pompey, right here, y'all. In this video, we need to talk about Pompey. How did Pompey lose to Julius Caesar? This is a question that many people want to know about. How did Pompey, the man himself who became a leader of Rome for a short bit, by the time that the conflict was starting to get tension between him and Julius Caesar, and what was the problem with that? So, also we're going to talk about each category we need to talk about as well. This is a very important thing I want to talk about, alright y'all? This is going to be a good history video that everybody's going to be interested to hear from your pal Dr. Do here, y'all. So before we get started, if you guys new to the new YouTube channel, please subscribe to the channel, hit notification down below, comment down below, and see what you guys think about my opinion about the history, my Roman history right here, and my point of view of it. And also, if you guys want Dr. Do merch, go to Cotton Bureau to get you guys drinkwares, hatware like this one right here, and also the Dr. Do glass right here. Right here, y'all. And also give you guys shirtwares as well to represent this channel right here. Alright, y'all. And also, you guys want something to give you enough energy, hydration, and enough protein to get you through the whole entire summer. Well, go to Beach Chart. Give you guys Dr. Do energy powder right here, cotton candy right here, and also protein powder for all of you guys who need some protein to gain you guys more muscle than ever. Alright, y'all. And also let you guys know tonight I'm not doing any live stream tonight. You know, I'll be busy tonight. Okay, y'all. Sorry about that, but I wish I could do some fun game with y'all tonight, but I'll be busy. Alright, so just a heads up to all my viewers right here, y'all. So without further ado, let's get this party started. Alright, the conflict all began back in the year 58 BC, when Julius Caesar launched his invasion into the territories of Gaul, which is now modern day France. Which to many people in the Senate think this was not right for them to invade more territory and expand outwards. The Senate did not support it being an empire at all, because they don't want to lose their power and their leadership as well. And also, they don't believe as kings or queens or emperors should be the one leading the whole entire empire at all. But however, this wasn't actually really one of the bigger problem with that is that most of the Senate actually hate Julius Caesar, because when you think about it, Julius Caesar was something else at that time. Many Senate members feared of Julius Caesar's behavior, his generalship, his military, his action as well. He also evading the Gauls without any reason of telling the Senate as well. He also including some sort of tension with his former friend, who is leader of Rome, Pompey. Which both sides with both him and Pompey always been a friend with each other for a while, but then the tension got worse and worse for Julius Caesar. Most of the Senate want Julius Caesar to step down and let go of his forces and would turn himself in. Most of the Senate supported that, but however, other members of the Senate, including Mark Antony, was against that, opposed to that. And then a conflict happened in the Senate, with many people consider that a blasphemy. Having fighting each other in the Senate was not right at all. Also, following the successful fulfillment of the goals in 50 BC, news spread to Julius Caesar, and he was labeled as a criminal and a rebel against the Roman Republic, and also his army was considered a rebel too. And then after that, they marched to Rome. So let's look at that right here. All right, Pompey. When news about Julius Caesar marching to Rome, Pompey wasn't ready, or the Senate. They never thought that Caesar would launch a march to Rome with his forces, and Pompey had a choice: either stay and defend the city of Rome, but Pompey did not have enough forces to defend Rome at all. They were smaller, but however, the rest of his forces are outside, far away. It would take them 4 days to come to Pompey in the Roman capital. But however, he picks the option to abandon Rome, regroup, leave Rome immediately, if not the Roman Empire as well, because they're not ready for that, ready for conflict. So first category, fundings. When Caesar and his forces marched to Rome, Pompey and his whole entire Senate and their army had no choice but to rush themselves out of Rome immediately, get everything they need to regroup and prepare for themselves for a conflict that will not be on their side. But there's the problem. Most of the things they left were most of their treasures in the Roman treasury door. All right, when Caesar and his forces went inside Rome and found all the treasury that with the Roman Senate left, he used that to help him make his military bigger and stronger. All right, and also a problem is that once you leave most of the treasures, it would be harder for you to fund your military. And also, once they left Rome and leave to Greece, Pompey and the whole entire Senate had to tax every funding from Greece in order to build their whole entire army, which they did. But however, most of their money they use it on this battle, which cost them a lot of their forces. All right, y'all. And then they had to get some funding, but however, their funding was starting to drain. Each conflict and each battle they had against Julius Caesar began to drain them all of it, causing them to have to use small forces to win their battles, where it could become more difficult for them to continue fighting. You see, money is the only for the Pompeian army. I feel sad that they didn't realize they don't have enough funds to continue the conflict against Julius Caesar. Alright, y'all? This is what happened when you should have been prepared. They should have known that they had to be really, really prepared for everything. They should have been should have started packing up and stuff. But however, their news to them was a little late for them. I get it, you want to get out there and stuff, but however, you had to make sure you had all the treasury you need to continue the conflict against Julius Caesar in order to prevent him from rebuilding his forces, which also became a bigger problem for them. It also became a bigger problem for them to fund their navy and also build a navy as well. But however, many battles they had were disappointing as well. And now to another category we need to look at after funding is loyalty right here. At the start of the conflict, many of the Roman Senate members, including Julius Caesar family member like Brutus, thought that they and Pompey will have more support and loyalty from not just from Greece, from territory like Africa right there and Hispania as well. But however, when the war started, they began to see more of their loyal members of the Senate beginning to defect from the Pompey side, decided to join Julius Caesar side, because they knew that draining all their fundings and their noble stuff in order to continue the conflict will be a difficult thing for the nobles, including members of the Senate, continue fighting. And also, most of the members of the Senate had no experience of fighting in conflict before. You got most of them are older, like somewhere around their 50s, or some of them in their 60s as well. And also, including for Pompey as well, seeing a much young and stronger force, it hurts really bad right there. And also, including the fact that most of the Senate members thought they would win against Julius Caesar because how much loyalty they have with the people. But however, the people too are loyal to Julius Caesar. Do you know why? Because the people in the Roman capital, Rome, they decided not to leave and stay in Rome, because when you think about it, most of the people in Rome had seen Pompey and the Senate and the men abandoning Rome. It was a disgraceful and dishonorable move to the people of Rome. When you look at it that way, many people in Rome rather stay and fight, and defend their homeland and their whole entire way of life. But however, by abandoning Rome, they had lost a lot of people in Rome loyalty, and they decided to cheer for Julius Caesar and his whole entire army and make sure that Pompey lose his conflict with him. Do you see where I'm going here? Eventually, leading to one of the most important members, like Brutus and Cassius, they decided to switch their loyalty to Julius Caesar by surrendering themselves. And guess what? Julius Caesar forgave both of them and decided to have them both fight with him against Pompey and his whole entire forces in the Civil War. You see here, and also you had to think about that, because most of the Senate members are grown tired of the conflict, and they knew they cannot win against Julius Caesar at all. And then you got another category, army. All right, army is also another important thing when it comes to loyalty too. You know, when you look at army, all right, when it comes down to army, Julius Caesar and Pompey both had amount of men in during the conflict. All right, but however, when it comes to army, Julius Caesar had a better force than Pompey because when you look at Julius Caesar army, they are well trained and veterans of a war they have fought with Julius Caesar a while back. You know, the invasion of Gaul, aka France. And these forces that with Julius Caesar had are not army to be messed with. They are ready to fight in the name of Julius Caesar and Julius Caesar alone. But however, when you look at Pompey forces, most of his forces are either not well trained or not as experienced as Julius Caesar forces. Well, there one legion that Pompey had that with Julius Caesar had given him before the invasion of the Gauls, right there. But however, another thing for Pompey is that most of his forces consist of other minority groups, such like you got either Greek language speaking forces, and also some other members like Spaniards forces as well. I mean Hispanian forces. You get what I mean? With most of the army have different types of language, but however, members of the Roman army in the Pompey side don't know that much of each of the languages. And also, other thing is that they have soldiers that are actually mercenaries forces they are paid to fight for Pompey himself. So look when you let's look at this one battle right here, y'all. It's the Battle of Philolosis. Sorry, I butchered that name. I'm so sorry, Greece. Right here. So you guys know what the Battle of Philolosis is? This was a battle that put two forces of Julius Caesar with 23,000 men against Pompey with his 45,000 men. Alright? Look at this battle. Julius Caesar may have been outnumbered, but however, when it comes to Julius Caesar, he could take down your forces anytime, anywhere. And also, his forces are stronger than Pompey's 45,000 men. You see why I'm going here? And this was what the result of Julius Caesar forces outmaneuver and also outmaneuver. Okay. Sorry, so much question, so many words I want to say. All right. Julius Caesar had outmaneuvered and out-tacted Pompey, which resulted in Pompey forces being defeated and scattered, which resulted in Pompey had no choice but to lead to Africa. Now, this is where Pompey thought that once he reached Africa, the Egyptian pharaoh of Egypt at that time will be helping Pompey and fight against Julius Caesar. But however, once Pompey entered Egypt and stuff, he was assassinated by the Egyptian king as a offering to Julius Caesar in exchange for all the money and the debt that his father, the pharaoh, was in. With what sad and tragic to see, Julius Caesar's reaction of seeing the head of Pompey was scary, man. It was sad for him. He lost a friend. That shocked him. I think that to me that Julius Caesar's reaction to Pompey being assassinated and betrayed by those who were loyal to him, I could see one of the reasons why he was kind of a little paranoid of those around him during the Civil War against him and the Senate. So you see why I'm going here? And then finally, tactics. Sorry, y'all. So, and then tactics. Tactics is what Julius Caesar is good at. He is one of the greatest tactical generals of military history. He can outflank you, he can outmaneuver you, he can outsmart you, like he did due to the Gauls in the invasion of Gaul and to Pompey and the Senate. He managed to beat anybody who thinks that Julius Caesar does not know how to fight. This man had been in military combat longer than all the Roman Senate, including Pompey himself. You see here, Julius Caesar knows what he can do and what he can bring on the battlefields against the whole entire Roman Senate and those who stood against him. This is a result of how Julius Caesar won the people of Rome and also won his leadership of the whole entire Senate. But however, it's tragic that eventually led to him being assassinated and conspired against by all his members, including Brutus himself. You see here, you do not need to go against Julius Caesar when it comes to fighting him on the battlefield. Like Alexander the Great, like Napoleon Bonaparte, Julius Caesar had his ways up and down, including Hannibal tactics, Genghis Khan tactics. This man wanted to do anything to make Rome bigger and stronger. He would do anything, including stand against the Roman Senate, who was to do anything to prevent him from expanding his whole entire nation. Alright? All he wanted to do is to make Rome the most dominant empire in European history and not in human history. Alright, y'all? And there you have it. This is one of the biggest stories about how this war concluded, and also how did Pompey and lost to Julius Caesar, and how Julius Caesar won his fight against Pompey. Alright, y'all. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope y'all have a great day. Please subscribe to the channel, hit notification down below, comment down below to see what you guys think about my video about Rome itself. And I'll see you guys next time right here, y'all. Peace out.